Absolutely. Now, Dave, I know with the Rauch Foundation, you've been able to get some great data in for us post-COVID, taking a look at more than 1 in 3 downtown food and beverage retail businesses projected 50% loss in revenue in 2020 compared to 2019. So I guess now that we're in 21, the question is, what needs to happen now?
Well, again, order needs to be established in the downtowns that makes people feel comfortable coming in. So I think the extent to which people cooperate in the voluntary mask wearing undertaking, and municipalities continue to pay close attention to social distancing, I think that sets the framework for restoring business confidence and customer use.
And I know it showed that the downtowns that rebounded more quickly were generally, food and beverage destinations, the people that use those public spaces and were successfully able to reattract visitors.
Well, the nature of the pandemic was an inflection point in the path of downtowns, if you will, which were already experiencing significant challenges related to online shopping, the rise of shopping malls, the prevalence of shopping malls as opposed to downtown. So the pandemic provides, amplified those conditions. Now the challenge is to help people understand that downtowns are a place where families can congregate. It's unlike a mall, which is impersonal. In a downtown, you get to see your neighbors, you can interact socially and politically. And experiential uses like restaurants, art galleries, and different things that you can't find at the mall or that you can't buy online are the key to survival for downtowns.
And I wonder too, Dana, when we take a look at so many people didn't feel safe going out of their homes and turned to online shopping. How much of an impact do you think that's going to have on our downtowns moving forward?
Well, I do believe that people still love to be inside an establishment and inside a retail operation and be able to touch and feel the things that they want to purchase. I do, when I'm out and about and going into smaller boutiques and places like that, I see them pretty crowded. I see that people are excited to be there. I've seen some new businesses open up and just get flooded with people from the area who really want to see what the new business has to offer. So honestly, I think that we enjoy the world of opportunity of buying things online. Amazon, ordering things from our local restaurants is certainly going to continue, and that's a wonderful thing. But I really do believe that people will want to go back to the small businesses and support them. We hope that that's going to be still part of our lifestyle, especially downtowns. Who can beat that downtown experience, right? You want to get back to that again.
And Dave, I know not all communities that you took a look at were impacted the same. The businesses in the lower income community, businesses of color, were more likely to be impacted by the pandemic, and that was due to a lack of access to capital, to online marketing, difficulty accessing federal aid, or lack of information.
Absolutely. Also, language barriers. Many of the low-income communities on Long Island are immigrant-based. And so language was a major issue during the pandemic. Just getting factual information about about regulations and safety precautions was a challenge for a lot of these immigrant business owners. So broadband access was a big issue throughout Long Island. Many of the lower income communities lack adequate broadband access, and the storekeepers themselves lack the skill to leverage broadband access, even if they had it. So, the foundation is focused now on what support we can offer to make sure that these communities have reasonable access to restorative functions.
Because I wonder too, how do we make sure that these, what could be now a temporary store closure, doesn't mean it's a permanent store closure?
Yeah, well, the temporary store closures that we measured are stores where there was a sign in the window that said we're closed during the pandemic, or we're closed until a certain date. So there was an implication in those instances that the stores would survive and reopen. Permanent closures, on the other hand, were just stores that were clearly vacant. And there's a combination of those, and the prevalence of both those categories were in the lower income downtowns.
Yeah, and you know, I have to say, just on a personal note, when you see, you know, your local community and you see, you know, for rent and businesses closed during this time, and you just had hoped that, you know, these businesses were going to be able to pull through, and unfortunately, that was not the case for, you know, too many of them.